Hey y'all, I'm Zoe Joyelle.
And I'm Alexis Simone.
And this is the Soundwaves Podcast,
where we dive deep into the rhythms and stories that shape our world.
Yes.
Cheers.
So what are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking another mocktail. This one is an Italiano Spritz. It's very high in adaptogens, very rich in adaptogens. And the flavor is a Mediterranean citrus blend. So we have grapefruit, we have orange, we have reishi mushroom, L-theanine, quassia extract, which is also for energy and gut cleansing. So a lot of great things in this. So let's take a sip.
It's good.
Very refreshing.
I love the little sizzle.
Yeah, definitely citrusy though. Like if you can't tell by the color, it's giving peach Bellini vibes today, but
it tastes like
it's a mocktail.
It has flavors from like the orange Fanta.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But not as sweet.
No, not at all.
But it definitely reminds me of that too.
So I just want to say, if this is your first time watching us, thank you for being here.
Welcome.
This podcast is two besties navigating our 20s.
Yes.
We explore different topics that we've experienced in the past and going through now, and just kind of figuring it out all together. So if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the things. And we love comments, so please continue to engage with us.
Yes.
Now let's get back to the show.
All right. Thanks. Back to you, John. Okay, so today's icebreaker is, how have you been this past week? Like, have you had any peak moments or reflecting that you want to share?
Peak moments. Well, this past week, my little sister, she goes to college in Vegas, so she stayed a couple days with me. She's spending the summer in Georgia.
Period.
So that was definitely a peak moment. My girl is getting grown. She's turning 19 this summer.
Wow. So baby.
It's so funny because we're 8 years apart, and you could definitely tell. Like, 8 years is a lot of years, bro.
It's a lot.
Like, she's taller than me, but she's 18.
Yeah.
You know? But peak moment, I don't know, y'all. If you're not new here, you know we're always talking about luteal phase and stuff like that. I'm not even on my luteal phase. I just need to get checked, like gut check, brain check, all types of checks, because I was just tired, to be honest.
So tired.
The peak moment I would say is chilling by my pool and like just chilling, like kind of in a nap phase and just soaking in the sun. So that would be my peak moment.
Yes, I can agree. I've been so tired this week. It's also been very great in Atlanta. If you are living anywhere else, maybe y'all have been having sunny days, but it's been great. It's been raining.
It's like the whole East Coast, I think.
And it's so annoying because I just don't have joyous days when it's been raining all day.
Literally.
So I've been very tired, very nappy this whole weekend. But I will say this past week, a key or a peak moment for me is when we went to Access. At church.
Wow, this week has been so long. That felt like a week ago.
Facts. And that was Thursday at 2819, and the energy is always great in there, but the energy was so high. It wasn't like a typical church service, like, you know, when you sit down in your seat the whole time listening to the sermon. People were up and around moving. Access is when y'all come together for an hour of prayer, and then we had worship after for like 30 minutes. So it was very fun. I know it's like church fun. Like, yeah, church is fun. Like,
yeah.
I love the praise and worship and the music and everything like that. And just seeing so many people coming together, moving around the building, just praying, hugging, and things like that. It was just like,
and the freedom.
I love it here.
Like the freedom.
Right.
Like, it's not like it wasn't an experience where you like worried about of other people looking at you. Like, it was just freedom. It was good.
It was a good time. And then one of our friends, Paola, came, and so it was just like, hey girl. So it was good. It was great energy. So that was a peak moment.
Yeah.
And I've also been just having a conviction all week of like that I'm grown for real. So that's also been a moment, because I ran into one of my childhood best friend's mom the other day. And I haven't seen her. She was like, I have not seen you since you were in middle school and high school. And she was like, and now you're almost 30. And I was like, I know.
I
know.
I feel like she's finally starting to not feel bad about almost 30. Or maybe, I don't know how you
feel. It's like I'm
but
easing out of it. Like, this week has been the conviction where I'm like, girl, you are grown. So just embrace being grown.
Literally. I was trying to tell her that. Like, I feel like it's a beautiful thing. Like, I feel like you look better because you know what looks good on you. You know the type of experiences you like to enjoy. Like, I feel like you're kind of easing out of figuring things out.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there'll always be things that you need to, you're learning, you're changing and stuff like that. But just the things you had to figure out in your 20s is like fading away. Thank you, Jesus.
It is. And I think for me, it was like more so like life is just moving so fast. So it's not really like I don't want to be grown. It's just like, it's just moving so fast, y'all. Like, I really do remember high school, college, post-college, where it was like kind of fresh. And it's like, it's just zooming by. And I think having a kid just makes it hit a little harder too. Because I'm like, he finishing school. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But this week was full of convictions where I'm like, girl, you grown. Embrace it. And I'm feeling good about it.
Period.
So that was a peak moment.
Good.
Amen. All right, so today's topic, y'all. Classes in session.
Classes in session.
Y'all see the notebooks. We ready to talk about it.
What's today's topic, sister?
We're talking about self-abandonment and the key differences, or just navigating that in your life on a day-to-day basis or in moments and things like that. So, you want to go ahead and get started?
So the first question is, who are you at your best self? At your best, you are love.
There you go. That's the answer right there. That's facts. At my best self, I'm the 3 C's. I'm calm, I'm confident, and I'm clear. So when I'm my best self, I'm moving on a day-to-day with my head high, shoulders back. I'm feeling clear on my thoughts and actions, on what I want to work on, how I'm going to execute it. I'm confident, so I'm actually physically and mentally feeling good. I'm feeling energetic. I'm feeling like I'm ready to tackle on any trigger or stress or stressful moment or anything like that that may come at me that may on another day like hinder me. But on this day, I'm feeling good. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm confident on it. I'm calm, so I'm not anxious. I'm not, trying to control my day. I'm letting things move and flowing with it, but also very confident in my day as well. So like I said, I'm clear on my actions and things like that. And I'm just calm. Like, I'm very happy and present, and I'm just moving through my day with a clear head.
Amen.
So that's who I am at my best.
Beautiful, beautiful. At my best, I would say I'm patient, because when I'm not at my best, I'm irritated.
Yeah.
At my best, I feel like I'm more bubbly and energetic, humorous, and more outgoing, I would say. But also at my best, the outgoing thing is not really dependent on being at my best. That's just who I am. Like, it depends on my environment. But I would say definitely more patient is probably the biggest word for me. Because when I'm not at my best, it's like so much going on in my mind more so.
Yeah.
And it's hard to just be present and patient to the other things that go on. Like, you know how you having the not the best day, and that's when all the most annoying stuff goes on. Like, people driving crazy around you, or you miss the turn, or miss the exit on the highway, and then now it's 15 more minutes, now you're in traffic. All of that. Like, that's just how it be when I'm not at my best. So I would definitely say just energetic, happy, ready to do whatever anyone wants to do, hanging out with people, just being around people overall. Because when I'm not at my best, it's more like I'm in a shell or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and clear-minded, like she said, for sure. Like, having a clear idea of what I need to get done and how it's going to get done.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you're just, like the song, you're just moving with love, and everything is just going.
Yeah.
It's just going well, and it's like you're just chilling. I had a day recently this past week when I was just having a day, y'all, and everything in that day started to piss me off. And it ended, and it's been so hot and humid, so it ended with me standing outside and not being able to get in my house, y'all. The lock wasn't working.
Jeez.
And I'm like, if I was already in traffic for 30 minutes, work was annoying, had 3 people resign, like, I was just over it. And then to be locked out the house was a cherry on top. And mind you, the whole time I'm driving home, I'm like, this day couldn't get any more annoying.
And then it did.
And it did. But I really do not feel my best self when I'm not energetic.
Yeah.
Like, it plays such a big
It
part.
really does. Like, the lack of energy could feel like depression.
Sad.
Yeah. And it's crazy because it's not just, I would say, not our fault, like, as far as like, oh, you didn't sleep enough. It really be so much other stuff, like environmental, nutritional, minerals, all types of stuff. So it's like, sheesh, it's a lot you got to think about when it comes to energy, especially as women.
Yeah.
Especially as Black women. They say that we're so low on vitamin D, and vitamin D is so essential for energy. So it's like, you got to up your knowledge to really be on your A game.
Facts, because when I wake up and I know I'm not feeling energized, it's like I already am feeling the weight of the day about to be placed on me. And I hate that feeling. Because you just, when you know the difference of having energy and having a clear mind and focus and just ready to tackle on the day, motivation-wise, it's like when you're not, it's like, yo, I could spend the rest of the day in bed for all I care. Like, I have no motivation to do nothing. So it's important to really know, like how she said, to know the things that help you with your energy. So next, we're going to dig into the actual definition of self-abandonment, but then also the definition of self-sabotaging, because the two can correlate.
Yeah, they sound very similar.
And they sound very similar. Sometimes they overlap. So like I said, class is in session. Get your notebooks out. Take notes. Okay, so self-abandonment is the neglection of your own needs, emotions, well-being, often to please others or escape emotional responsibility. And that last part is important because that's the avoidance.
Yeah.
That's the avoidance there. So, for example, you're not setting boundaries. You're dismissing your own wants and desires. You're putting other needs ahead of your own. That's the people-pleasing part. So, for example, I could say, I'm so tired. I done told my friends all day I'm so tired, but then next thing you know, somebody asks me to do something. I'm like, yeah, sure. And it's like, but you just really planned the whole day of relaxation.
Yeah.
But you just put that to the side to go tend to somebody else, which nobody said don't do that. You know, there's a balance. And so we're going to get into how to honor your own desires while also balancing meaningful relationships later on. Self-sabotage is when you actively or passively undermine your own success, happiness, or goals driven by limiting beliefs. So, for example, procrastination, doubting your own abilities, and giving up easily. So the two do overlap, because if you consistently participate in self-abandonment, you're also getting into self-sabotage. You're not even really giving yourself those chances to be successful, and like it says, you are doubting your own ability. So you're giving up easily. You're not really motivated to continue to. You're not even trying at that point. You're just like, whatever. So the two are very similar.
I had to have her I was about to ask her to read it 3 times to me, because I was like, they sound very similar. I guess they really can clash.
And we probably have participated, and you at home as well have probably participated in both at a given time of your life. But I think it is important to know the difference, because another thing with self-abandonment is it's missing that self-awareness part. With self-sabotage, you're a little bit more aware of the things that you need to be doing, but you're procrastinating. You know, you're not choosing.
Like with both, I think it's like a monthly cycle for me, and it definitely has something to do with being on a cyclic, like literally being a cyclic being as a woman. And I hope that this gets to the right doctor that reaches out to me and helps me, because when I'm not in that luteal and days before luteal, it feels like 2 weeks out of the month that I'm like feeling very fatigued or overthinking to the point where it's destabilizing me, or being self-critical, and it's literally monthly. So it's like I can go, and maybe even 3 weeks I can get a good 3 weeks of having healthy habits and doing what I say I'm gonna do. But then the aftermath of that luteal, it's like you gotta get back. And then I also do think that I, like, for the both words, and I guess my follow-up question would be like, which one do you think you do more? So I would say for me, I think mine is more self-sabotage, but also trying to learn that there's literally a chemical reason behind some of the things that I do. So trying to give myself grace as well. The self-abandonment, can you read the last part of the self-abandonment again? So,
neglecting your own needs and emotions to please others or escape emotional responsibility.
Escape. I think it's the word escape for me, like the avoiding part.
It's the avoidance.
Sure.
Yeah. I think I resonate more so with the avoidance of self-abandonment. I feel like I'm getting out of, or not completely, of the people-pleasing thing. I don't really think I dibble and dabble into that too much. I think it is just the avoidance of just being responsible of my own life and all that comes with that. Sometimes it feels more overwhelming than it actually is. To answer your follow-up question, I would say I think I participate in self-abandonment a little bit more, because sometimes when I'm out of the routine, I'm not even aware of the part of myself that I'm not honoring. like my desires and things like
wow,
that.
so you could be that unaware.
Yeah, like I've completely gotten into the routine of a distraction of something else where I'm not even thinking about self.
There has to be some bliss in that. That sounds bad. I feel like both of ours are bad, but it's so interesting how we be on the opposite sides of spectrums for real. Because mine, I be aware, and then in my awareness, my self-critical, like being critical, increases. But it doesn't help. It still doesn't get me to where I need to go.
Yeah, because now you're like being harsh on yourself.
Yeah.
And you like have to talk to yourself better.
I would rather be unaware.
I would be aware and actually change it. Because when I'm unaware, when I finally become aware, I start entering the phase of self-critical. I spend a lot of time reflecting in the shower, and so I'll have my peak reflections in the shower, and I'll be like, this whole time I've been neglecting self.
Yeah.
And now I start to feel bad, because it's like, girl, how will you ever be the woman you want to be when doing that?
I think it's how society is ran.
Yeah.
Like, even because we live in a capitalist society, so it's like, work hard, don't be lazy, da-da-da-da-da. And some of that holds true. But none of it has taught us how to be human, to honor yourself, and to find that beautiful middle of like, hey, I'm actually exhausted. Or, hey, I'm feeling really good today, let's do what we need to do. And finding some type of balance. I think we kind of operate on a blame and guilt society.
Yeah, so kind of bully you to do it.
Yeah, and shame and stuff like that. So,
I don't really sit down like that. I be moving a lot throughout the week of just doing different things, and so I think that's how I'm able to be a little bit unaware of prioritizing stuff, because I'm not sitting down for real. I don't sit down and actually unwind until like 11 p.m.
She has a whole family, so that's why.
Yeah, and so it's just like, all right, girl, like you have to prioritize some self in there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and get into it.
So we need to find a middle though.
It's the
like
balance.
Both of us, like it's the perfect middle is right in between us, and we need to get there.
I literally made a joke saying, "Tattoo on my forehead, y'all." We probably said it 500 times throughout this whole episode, or episodes of Soundwaves. We're always talking about balance, because that's the answer.
Because when you said you don't like get to sit down, I'm like, I spend a lot of time alone because I work from home.
Yeah.
And I don't have children or anything like that. But also for me, I feel like being around people motivate me to do stuff. Like if I could just have someone just standing here watching me clean my house, that would really help.
Yeah.
I used to be like, when we lived together in college, I used to be like, can you just come in my room while I clean my closet?
And I'm sitting on the couch like, yep,
that's all I be needing. Like,
you just need that support back.
I'm about to hire a kid to sit in this house with me.
Like, your whole house will be spotless. Trust me. Trust me. That's why my house gets clean all the time, because there's a kid in there. So, yeah, we're working on the balance, but let us know what y'all think about the whole self-abandonment and self-sabotaging. Have you participated in either one of them? And which one maybe you're leading more into? Because stop it.
Right.
If you are.
The next question is about self-neglect. So, we already assume that there's some self-neglect in our lives, and maybe in yours if you're watching. So, it's funny how we word the question. That's just something that I've been thinking about when we talk.
Yeah.
But so, how does self-neglect show up in your life?
It shows up in my life by not prioritizing self-care. I can build routine a lot of things, but self-care is one that I think I neglect the most. So whether that's skincare, beauty maintenance, working out, all those 3 things fall under my self-care, and I neglect those so often. And then I hit a peak of realization, so then I just want to go hardcore all at 1 week, and then I'm like exhausted because I've been trying to prioritize on that on top of my other responsibilities on my day-to-day. So I neglect those, really, the working out and the self-care with the skincare, because I do care about those things, and beauty maintenance, like every woman loves to feel cute and feel good, but distractions and other things, like I'll go weeks or months without actually tending to any of those things.
Why though? Do you think it's a root? Do you think you've always been like that? Like what?
I don't know. I would say growing up with my mom, she was the complete opposite. Like, she was all about self-care. She's very big on skincare. She's very big on beauty. So she's a makeup girly, and she loves like hair and stuff like that. And I think I was always the opposite. Like, I really didn't care about any of that. Like, I would be like her Tesla, and she would always be trying new products on me. buy them for me. I would not use them. I would not do any of that because I just didn't care. And I went through a phase of like where I did really care about makeup and hair and stuff like that. And I don't know if I just didn't feel like I could maintain it, or maybe I just feel like I don't have the time. I think my biggest thing is I don't have the time. Like, is it really that important to spend my time on when I have other things to do? And I think that's where the drop is, the disconnect is. Like, I feel like I don't have the time, so I don't actually do it, or I don't prioritize it, because I feel like I could be doing something else that's maybe more important, like whatever that is.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow, because while you were saying that, I was like, a good title of a book or a series would be like, who are you with more time? Because that makes sense. How does self-neglect show up in my life? I think one thing that keeps ringing in my ear was something our pastor said when he said, we got to stop majoring on minors. So like spending so much time focusing on smaller things in your life that are important, but they may not have a bigger impact in your life that you're looking for.
Right.
So that's just something I wanted to put out there. But I think how self-neglect shows up in my life is me knowing the right things to do. So like with this hormonal thing that I'm really trying to figure out. So I made a tea. Wonderful. But just like actually sticking to the routines is the biggest thing for me. So that's, I would say, not keeping my routines. And it's really because I be tired, or besides tired, since we talked about that so much, I realized that I'm a person that treats things as supplemental. And even emotional is something I had to realize. I don't know if we talked about that already, or if it's something I talked about with Lex, but just treating, like, so let's give an example. Being codependent and you're not feeling emotionally stable or something like that, so you would rather hang out with people, go on a date, call somebody, which is fine, but not being stable in yourself and like sitting with yourself for a second. And so that's me treating people like a supplement. So with the real supplements I have in my cabinet, it's like I'll wait till I have a whole month of not feeling my best, but I know that I have some supplements in there that I could have been taking on a daily basis that would have helped me. I don't know why I'm like that. I'm pretty sure other people can relate, but that's my self-neglect. Like knowing that I can do a little something more to make myself feel better, but for some reason, I just be feeling destabilized. And like recently, I've been reading these adults with ADHD thing, and I be really agreeing to what they be saying. Like, it's like you be knowing, and then you'll overdo it sometimes. Like how she said, she'll try to do everything in a week, and then you just go back to not doing it. And so then you keep using it as a supplement instead of just making it a lifestyle. So that's how self-neglect shows up in my life for sure.
Yeah. And it kind of goes into the self-abandonment of as far as like when you're avoiding maybe just taking care of yourself. And it's like, why? But I think self-abandonment and postpartum depression kind of go a little hand in hand. Or maybe like even when you're just like lacking a self-identity when you're a mom and things like that. Because I've been speaking with girls who may be feeling like they're going through postpartum, and I think it's because you have a new baby and then you stop prioritizing your own feelings and wants. And maybe it's because you feel bad, like maybe you feel like you don't deserve to have any feelings because of, you're a new mom and things like that. But I think as a mom, as a woman, as a wife, anything, you're supposed to still prioritize your own self, and that's important. You cannot be anybody else, show up as any other title when you don't prioritize self.
Yeah, I think these are valid experiences at our age. Maybe some people get to have these healthy routines earlier in their life because they see their parents are like that and their parents instill that in them. But some people come from parents that just was working hard, just trying to make sure that we had food in the house, or you were straight, and everything you was doing was good, but maybe they didn't take care of themselves to the detail that we now crave to do. So it's still new, honestly.
And that's why we're navigating. Because I can say I probably was raised on survival. Like my mom being in like a survival mode, because she was a single mom and she's just grinding. She's figuring it out as she goes, and that's the best she could do.
Exactly. So it's kind of new, so I feel like it's a valid experience. And shout out to the people that were able to learn that a little bit earlier. Because what the heck, how could it be so hard to just take the vitamins?
It's not.
it's not making sense. But it's because like it hasn't been a routine for me. Like it's just like I'm feeling bad, that's when I'm gonna take it. It's similar to taking an Advil or something when you have cramps or headaches. But these are like actual herbal things that you can take every day that you should just take.
And it's like you deserve to feel good.
Like
you don't have to suffer.
It'd be like, okay, I took it for a week, I feel good, and then I forget to take it because I don't feel bad no more.
You don't feel no bad no more. And that's the same thing like with me, like working out. It's like, girl, a lot of people can go outside and move their body and go to the gym and have the luxury and the capability, and you do as well. So it's just take that time that you think you don't have, or just redirect your time, I think, to do it.
Right.
I just haven't built the lifestyle of it. And I do think I need some more time. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just going to keep throwing it out there. I need some more time. Somebody, please, give us $1 million. So I can take a break.
Say, somebody, please give me some time. It just made me think of that Future movie when they had the time.
Yeah, and imagine it kept having to scan it every time.
I bet you we would be using time differently.
I would be at 0. At everything I try to do.
They was like damn near dying like they had diabetes or something.
Facts, yeah. It gets rough out here, but we all know life is about balance and routine, and we're navigating it, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, how do you balance honoring your feelings and desires while being in meaningful relationships with people?
Okay. That's an interesting question because as we were going through what we wanted to talk about today, when she said, how do you honor yourself or balance honoring yourself with meaningful relationships, I really had to think, like, I'm really a person that really does honor myself a lot, I would say. I think so. So I feel like I have to answer the question a little bit differently because now I'm trying to balance honoring others. And I would just to give a little background, I would say I feel like I've seen growing up people take advantage of the grace and the niceness that my parents had. So like overexerting themselves for people, whether that's financially or physically being there for people, and I didn't see people be there for my parents as much as they were for other people. So that kind of put in my mind that I need to prioritize myself.
Yeah.
So that's how I've been, honestly. Yeah, like I think back, I'm like, I think I've always been like that. So I think I would say I'm now in a chapter of realization that I need to honor people more. So that's by being there for people when I say I am. So, the celebrations, we're in our 20s, so we don't really see our friends on a daily basis or weekly basis, and that's totally fine. I think that's how it should be because people are focusing on things. So whenever people say that they're having an event or they need help with anything, I think I'm definitely focused on being there, and especially when I say I'm going to do something, being there for people. But since I've always been someone that I think has honored myself, I guess I'll just answer it for people who don't. I think it's like really honoring and paying attention to how you feel. So if you're having conversations with people and something is making you feel uncomfortable, I think it's okay to respectfully just not have that conversation or to voice it. It just depends on who it is. Like if it's people that actually respect you, then you can say, I don't think I want to have that conversation, or I actually don't really like how that made me feel. Like just taking the time to speak up for yourself. I think also with that, just being mindful of your own triggers, because sometimes it may not be something on purpose of whatever it is that has triggered you, but it could be just something you have to work on. So I would say having a great relationship with yourself helps you honor yourself in other intimate relationships, knowing your own boundaries, and what makes you happy and what doesn't make you happy and things like that. Yeah,
I can agree with the boundary setting, because I do think that you can do everything that you desire and want and then still show up for people in your meaningful relationship. So you can do both, but you have to set a boundary, or maybe even take some compromise. So it's like going back to that example of the self-abandonment, when you're like saying you're so exhausted, but somebody says like, hey, can you please help me, go and grab something real quick. It's like, maybe I can, but maybe can we go at this time so I can just, relax for a second. I've had a long day, things like that. And that way you're still doing both, you're still showing up for others, but you're showing up for yourself as well.
Yeah.
And so like we said, it's that balance.
Yeah, it's like knowing your limits for sure.
Yeah, knowing your limits, setting boundaries, and maybe doing some compromise. Because, you don't want to honor yourself to the point where you are not being there for others as you would want them to be for you. Because then that comes off selfish and, things like that. And you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. So if you want people to always show up for you, show up for them as well.
Yeah.
But still think about how you feel. Like if you really are at your max, then the answer is no. And it's not even personal to you. And maybe also just not taking things super personal. Maybe you do feel some type of way. You can voice it, but also then like always have those moments with yourself where you're checking yourself too though. It's like is this moment something I actually feel a way about, or maybe I'm just like projecting or going through something, and just taking that time to just be still and present and things like that. And so that way you're honoring your feelings, but then you're also not, I want to say, assuming or projecting on others as well. But a balance.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how do you personally, how do you honor it?
I think I compromise.
Okay.
And I said boundaries, because I do enjoy being there for people and showing up for meaningful relationships. But I do, coming out of people pleasing, I do have to remember to put myself first in a way. So I think compromising, like if I know that it's going to be a busy weekend of events for somebody's birthday or things like that, I am taking the time to make sure I'm spending a day before or 2 days before doing stuff for me that I know that I still want to get done and things like that.
Yeah. I was laughing when you said treat people how you want to be treated, because I feel like, I don't know, we'll charge it to the game for being from New York, but it's like a bunch of other stuff. I think having a lot of friendships in high school and stuff where people disappointed me to the point where I really didn't care. Like that statement of treat people how you want to be treated, I used to be like, I don't really care what you do. Like, not to me personally, but like, you don't gotta be here type thing. Like, like the birthday topic is so funny and huge to me because I'd be like, I really don't care if you come. Like, because I know I'm gonna have a ball. Regardless. So, like, I don't care if you come at all. And I'm not gonna hold it against you either. But you know how some people have more expectations, like, oh, you didn't come to my birthday, so I'm not gonna come to your birthday.
Right.
Da-da-da-da. Like, bro, I literally don't care.
My grandmother literally instilled that in my head.
Like what?
Treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah. I think it's a great thing.
I'm talking about, because I grew up like in that kind of mode where I was like, I don't care how they treat me because I'm fine. And she used to hate when I would say that, because she would be like, no, like, but you at one point you are going to want someone to do this for you, and you are going to, and so she would always be like, so treat me the way you want to treat it, treat me the way you want to treat it, and I just be like, I don't care, I don't care.
Yeah, like it sounds bad. I'm not trying to say I don't care how you treat me, but I guess like I feel like I said earlier when I said me and my sister are 8 years apart, I do feel like I still have like only child syndrome kind of. So I just be feeling like I really don't need that many people. Like the people I have is good enough. Yeah,
and that's why I grew up the only child as well. So I feel like it didn't start making more sense to me, or like actually something I considered until my 20s. And I don't know, I think it was, I can't even recall the exact moment, but it was a certain situation where I really did think about that and apply it, because I was like, this actually may be selfish and maybe I shouldn't treat somebody like this. And so, because I was like, on the other side, I would feel terrible. But up to then, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I think also for me, when it comes to friends, I've always been kind of cliquey. And what I mean by that is having like a core group of friends. And then I never really cared about anything outside, other than that. Yeah. Like, I'm not really the type of person that has a bunch of friends from a bunch of different groups and stuff like that. I have 2 groups now because I'm no longer in New York. But yeah, just never really cared. So anywho, last question is, what does it take to stay on the path? So like we went through what it feels like to not, and how it affects us and why we even end up there. So what does it take to stay on the path?
Journaling is how I would say to stay on the journey and path to being your best self. Because I'm someone who suffers from a lot of like mental fog and uncertainty, because I'll just have so much running through my head to where everything just starts to feel overwhelming and I don't want to think about nothing. And so I think to journal and get it all on paper, it kind of helps me redirect on what exactly I need to focus on. And that way it is easier for me to kind of build a routine, because it's like, okay, now I know this week I do want to focus on X, Y, and Z. So I'm actually going to focus on it. I see it on paper, I'm aware of what needs to be done, and this is how we're going to do it. I think that's like my most simple answer I can think of that would help me and help anybody else maybe going through the same thing on how to get back on the path.
Okay. I wrote down a couple things, so I just want to say them and then I'll explain them. But the first one for me is definitely stop being so self-critical. And I don't know how to stop, so we're just going to put that in the prayer journal and
Facts.
figure it out. Because that definitely does not help me. It really just makes everything take longer. I would also say planning out your days and weeks. And we were talking about that, and she was saying hers is a little different because she wouldn't want to plan it to the detail because it'll just start to give her anxiety as far as like what's actually going to get done. But for me, I would say definitely the times when I take out the time to write down everything in my planner, that definitely helps me. So like go to the gym 3 times or 4 times a week, clean the bathroom this day, clean the kitchen, blah, 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 blah. Make sure you journal. I don't really write journal, but like just having a mental note of journaling definitely helps.
Yeah.
Another one I said was taking the guesswork out of it. So similar to what she said, journaling. Also brain dumps. So like how she mentioned mental fog. I think brain dumps, like, because when you write it down, you be like, okay, it wasn't that bad. Like I actually literally physically feel better. So definitely brain dumps will help you stay on the path. Planning out your days, taking out that guesswork is probably the key, because I think about when we were actually in college and our schedules weren't technically up to us. Like you created them, but basically I'm saying you woke up every day with the expectation that you're going to go to these classes. You know when those assignments are due. So you have to do the same thing now that we're not in school and treat it the same way as far as what you want to accomplish for those weeks, months, and years. So I think that is the biggest thing. Taking that and really applying it. Like, even if you didn't go to college, you knew in high school your schedule and you knew when those assignments were due. So we have to do that same thing in our adult life.
Yeah, even for those who work a 9 to 5, like you know that you have to get up and go to work every day.
Yeah, and you're gonna go.
And that the bills gotta get paid, so you're gonna go.
You're going to go.
You're going to go. So it's
we
the same thing.
Yeah.
Applies to your life.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take that one. I just came up with that today. So we gotta all take that as a group and really do it, because that's not fair. We're way more important than the school and the job and stuff like that. The goals that you have for your whole outlook of your life are so important. So we have to do that same thing and apply those same expectations on ourselves.
Facts.
Yeah. So now we're gonna have a moment.
Yay! Let's get into the moment.
I want a bell. I'm gonna get a bell.
The moment.
So this moment, well, if you're new here, like I said, I hope you've been enjoying the video. Moment is when we name a moment. So name a moment, and I'm about to get into it.
Like
today is name a moment that you would like to create either this year or in the near future that includes community.
Okay, so I want to have a picnic.
Okay.
I missed last year, but I have picnics at least once a year, hopefully, if that's how the year goes. But I haven't had one since like 2023. So I want to have a picnic, but I want it to be a little different this year. I want to like give awards out.
Okay, period.
And like be like, can I have Zoe come up this year? She blah blah blah, and it'll be like, yay, kind of like a graduation ceremony. But you know, we're all just out eating, enjoying the weather, and then we have like little games and moments like that kind of like highlight each other.
That's cute. A moment that I want to create. I don't know if y'all know, but I probably mentioned it that I recently moved in March to Midtown, so I'm still getting my apartment how I want it to look. But once it's all done, I really want to have a moment or / dinner party that I do maybe once a month or twice a month, we'll see, where everyone basically, maybe 2 or 3 people each time, do a presentation on what they've been interested or learning. Because I feel like everyone is learning something. It could be weird too. It could be when Legos was established and why it was established. But I just know that everyone has their weird, quirky thing that they like to learn about. And I think it would be really cool to have dinner parties based around that. And now that I said it and put it into the earth, somebody's going to definitely take that if I don't do it. So it's okay. Enjoy it. But that's exactly what I want to do. I think that would be so fun.
That would be fun. Because like you said, we're all learning something. And I'm feeling the presentation vibes. Like, I want to get up and talk about something.
Right. Like, I think we need to take some of those things we had to do in school and make some fun with it and just keep doing it in our life. Because it was definitely beneficial.
And I guess you staying in the house. Okay, you budgeting, you working on your money.
And it gets your brain flowing and being creative.
It gets you creative on how to still gather with people without spending $250
on dinner. Yeah. Do you have anything else for the people?
I don't think so. I think that is it.
Okay. Well, that's it. Thanks for riding the wave with us.
We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same vibe. Bye.